Hello everyone and welcome back to another reaction video. Today we'll be checking out Gokai Red versus Kamen Rider Decade. Who would win actually by Knight of Spear? This particular video was requested for me to check it out, and yeah, here I am. We checked out quite a number of videos from these guys' channel already when it comes to tier lists and I guess power scaling from worst to the best Kamen Riders. You name it. Those reactions can be found on my channel. You can go check them out, and this one in particular focuses only on two individuals, Gokai Red, which I believe is one of the pirates, or at least pirate looking guys or suits from Super Sentai, and Kamen Rider Decade. Okay, I mean Decade can use like powers from different Kamen Riders, and Gokai Red has those keys, right, that also give him the power of other people. So yeah, not exactly how we're gonna rank this, but yeah, a link to this video will be in the description below, so you guys can go sync it up with me. And I guess without any further ado, before I jump into this one, because I know he will go very technical, my guess is that Decade is probably stronger than Gokai Red, but if you ask me who I like better, I would say Gokai Red because of the suit. His suits in general are more cool to me because he looks like a pirate. Maybe probably he acts like one as well. They have the ship and all. So, and Decade on the other hand is just like using the powers from others. I mean, don't get me wrong, Gokai Red is also doing that, but he just looks more cool with this, okay? Even though the Decade's last forum has that cape, that one is pretty good. And yeah, but yeah, just the look, I give it to the pirates. So yeah, let's go.
Gokai Red and Kamen Rider Decade, the protagonists from two shows that came out over a decade ago. It's something that can almost be considered a legacy matchup at this point. I get asked to cover this matchup a lot. It's a rivalry that's as iconic as it is obvious. So much so that Toei themselves even had to try their hand at it. But Superhero Tyson likely isn't canon to either respective series. And even if it were, the two were just faking being enemies the whole time to trick the actual villains into revealing their plan.
Very smart.
To the long-awaited question: if the two were to fight at full power, all in, no holds barred, Gokai Red versus Kamen Rider Decade, who would win actually? In this hypothetical, both combatants will be given all Ranger keys, all Rider cards, and no plot limitations.
Oh jeez.
I'll start out with speed.
Okay.
Both are pretty consistently around the speed of light. Gokai Red can match the G-Wogers as well as the
starting high,
with even low-tier members like Hammy being fast enough to dodge lasers from Deimos. Deimos himself can dodge attacks from Scheider's video beam gun. Video cameras work by reflecting light off of a surface, so even if you want to argue Deimos' lasers aren't explicitly light-based, chances are Scheider's would be. Gokai Red also scales above the Kira Majors, who could intercept an attack from a camera monster after it was shot. The Ju-Oger villain Bangre can dodge beam attacks from the Whale Change Gun that travel from Earth to the Moon in 1 second. About 28% faster than the speed of light. The mid-tier Deca Ranger villain Genio has also said before he can outright move at the speed of light, to which Deca Break retorts that he's even faster than the speed of light. This makes sense too, given Genio's ability to enter reflective surfaces like mirrors. Decade, on the other hand, scales above most Another Riders, who are likely physically comparable to the originals, like X-Aid, Ghost, and Build, who can each match Ichigo and B3's light-speed laser dodging, and Decade can also dodge photon-based projectiles from the Kaisa Blade Gun. I've said before that Decade's clock up lets him move at the speed of light, but if anything, this hardly scratches the surface. The original Super 1 is fast enough to dodge light-based lasers that bounce off mirrors from near point blank. But AR Super 1 gets completely speed blitzed by Decade's Clock Up. Plus, villains like the Sentai Megiddo are shown getting blitzed by Kabuto when he has no problem reacting to Psycho's lightspeed movement. Since Kabuto riders are described as having tachyon-powered attacks, tachyons being hypothetical faster-than-light particles, it makes sense for Clock Up to be faster than the speed of light. But just how much faster than light? Well, Clock Up is pretty frequently shown being speed-tied with Phai's axial form. Base form Phais can react to and dodge his own photon-based projectiles, some of which are described as literal beams of light.
Alright.
And Axel is stated to be a 1,000 times multiplier. That's much higher than a 28% increase. And Decade is able to match the End, who can react to Clock Up in just his base form without needing to use it himself. If you want to argue feats from Superhero Tyson are still canon, however, then Marvelous could match Clock Up speed by becoming
This is like
Red Buster
insane comparison in
exceed it
comparison with
custom.
comparisons.
But it turns out Marvelous actually doesn't even need to rely on feats like this in the first place. The Q Rangers were able to beat Dawn Armage, whose attacks can spread across the entire galaxy in 1 second. That's almost 3 trillion times faster than the speed of light. Much faster if you want to translate Uchu as universe
3 trillion
galaxy. The Q
times
Rangers,
faster?
without even transforming, are capable of piloting the Q Voyagers across interstellar distances. Just to reach the closest star to the Sun, Proxima Centauri, in 1 hour, you would need to be moving at over 37,000 times the speed of light. And the Q Rangers usually have to travel much further than this. Marvelous, of course, is capable of similar speed feats with the Gokai Galleon. So that's it then. Marvelous easily speed blitzes Tsukasa. I mean, sure, Forze could pilot the Go Buster O to Saturn and back, but he was only moving at 260 times the speed. Not even as fast as Axel form. Plus, the Go
he was
Buster
slow.
also share the same feat. So
That's
itself
funny.
then, what possible feat of speed does Tsukasa have that could ever compare to traveling the width of the universe in 1 second?
Okay.
Well, what if he could travel through space in 0 seconds? Or better yet, -1 seconds.
Wait,
This
what?
is what is referred to as immeasurable speed. Or as I like to call it, so fast it doesn't make sense. The speed formula is
great.
distance over time.
Yes.
If you travel an infinite distance over a finite amount of time, or a finite distance over an infinitesimal amount of time, then you would automatically be faster than any numerically measurable speed imaginable. Even the greatest possible distance over the shortest possible period of time. When Decade beat another ZO2, he was fighting somebody capable of traveling backwards and forwards through time at will. Powered Custom
Well,
might be faster than
Gokai Red,
Clock Up, but
you were
Hyper Clock Up is so fast
you were
that it
close,
moves backwards
but
through time. So there you have it. Even if you wanted a highball Marvelous, there's still an argument for Tsukasa being faster. I guess using Kirin Ranger might even the playing field, if you want to include that for some reason.
alright.
If you want to know my personal opinion, they should probably both average out to light speed since they can both still be tagged by light speed attacks. But ultimately, speed might not even matter once we get to their attack potency. In Super Sentai Strongest
Yeah,
Battle,
wait, we are
Marvelous
actually
and the
talking
rest
about
of the
speed
Honorable
only right
team
now.
fought against Ultimate Dai Satan,
That's
a
funny.
monster intended to destroy all of space, which could easily make him multi-galaxy or universe level. possibly even higher since Super Sentai has multiple alternate universes within it. This is the same level of power the Q Rangers needed to achieve in order to defeat Don Armage, who was hell-bent on destroying the entire galaxy or universe. And I don't mean this figuratively either, like through his conquest of alien civilizations. Just the amount of planetium on Earth was enough to blow up the entire universe all at once, and Don Armage was capable of absorbing all the planetium from across all the life in the universe into his own body, then use that same pool of energy to battle the Q Rangers. Since Gokai Red was blessed with the power of all Super Sentai, whatever sort of feat the Q Rangers had at their peak, he'd logically be able to match. And this logic isn't limited to the Q Rangers either. The Ju-Oger's source of power, the Link Cube, was able to merge the human universe and Ju-Land into one, possibly qualifying as a low multiversal feat, a level of power that isn't even uncommon for Sentai. The Shinkengers have fought villains with the power to flood the land of the living with an alternate plane of existence, the Sanzu River. Not to mention the Gowanger villains responsible for destroying multiple brain worlds, the Go-Go 5 villain Grandine who sought to destroy the entire universe with her minus energy, and the Oppa Rangers Desmozoria who rode to Earth on a reality warping
Okay, this particular
asteroid
information
with an impact
won't
so
stick
heavy
with me.
it
This
split the
is too
universe
technical,
into separate
too
universes.
detailed. Don't know.
Max can seemingly create his own universes as well, complete with stars and galaxies, and that's not even considering whatever super Max can do. And even Sentai after Ryusoulger, Marvelous can still scale to. Marvelous once fought two Kaiser to a stalemate, albeit neither one was really going all out, but they should still be relatively equal in strength. I've talked before about how the multiverse busting
we are comparing the power between the two by thinking who can make different worlds or destroy them.
Teamed up can't be used, right? Well, in the Sabura and Durandal spin-off, Reika does mention how much her fiance's maid, played by Majine's voice actress, sounds exactly like her. Since they don't call Majine by name though, I guess we could just dismiss this as some silly, inconsequential meta-humor. But in actuality, the Zenkaigers are probably already stronger than Saber without even needing to rely on scaling. The monsters that the Zenkaigers fight, called worlds, aren't just named that way. The Tojiro gears they're powered by literally contain entire alternate universes within them.
Wait, what?
You know that whole merging of two universes thing that was really impressive when Storius did it? Every single one of the worlds is capable of effectively the same thing.
Oh.
At the end of the season, the leader Zen Kaiser would go on to fight a guy literally just called God. The name isn't hyperbolic at all either. This is the same guy that created every single one of the parallel universes and is capable of destroying them. And even he said that a fight between him and Zen Kaiser could last until the end of time. There's at least 54 parallel universes in Zenkaiger that we know of, in addition to many more we probably haven't seen yet. And Zenkaiser destroyed all of their gears at once, in one shot. The Kiramager's own weapons are considered a sufficient upgrade on top of the Zenkaiger's already absurd levels of power. Captain Marvelous has fought the Kiramagers before in a 3v1 without needing to transform, and even called them weak while fighting. Though they weren't really going all out against him, this is still insanely impressive, and wouldn't be the last time Marvelous defeated a Kiramager without needing to transform. Most of you are probably aware of Decade's title as the Destroyer of Worlds. World in this case meaning universe. Something that's been a facet of his character since his conception. In episode 1, he's said to cause the destruction of 9 universes, and in Zeo, another Decade did the same to 20 universes.
Okay.
Schwartz was only using half of Decade's power, but even if we double this, we're still comparing 40 universes to over 54 universes. And Gokai Red is comparable to the Zenkaigers without gold mode and without Galleon armor mode. It's not really clear to me how much stronger either one of Gokai Red's final forms might make him. I could try speculating some potential numbers for him, but no matter what number I arrived at, chances are it would always be by a finite amount.
I mean, it's Decade,
Tsukasa
right?
is capable of destroying way more than 40 universes on his own. How many? All of them. Of which official episode descriptions state there are an infinite amount.
Infinite.
For example, that time another decade erased Build's powers from existence. Just within this one season, there is confirmed to be an infinite number of branching timelines. At least 2 that we know of, with Kamen Riders in them. Just for Swartz to destroy Build's powers alone, he'd already have to be capable of destroying infinite universes. Even God, arguably the most powerful Super Sentai character, didn't create an infinite number of universes. Sure, he could potentially keep creating and destroying as many as he wants for as long as he wants, but that's not the same thing as him creating an infinitely sized multiverse. Just the fact that he wanted
Okay, I kinda got lost with that, but
reduced down to a smaller finite amount is proof that he must have only created a finite number of universes to begin with.
that's a logic, okay?
No matter how many universes Gokai Red can destroy, Decade will always be stronger. No matter how many times faster than the speed of light he can move, Decade will always be faster.
Okay, yeah. The summary of this.
And end the video right here, but I want to do a service to all of you Captain Marvelous fanboys out there. Here's how Gokai Red can still win. In the Decade movie,
Okay, we are high on copium, let's go.
He then manages to hurt AR Shadow Moon better than Rising Ultimate Kuga and Decade combined could. I've been asked to cover this feat before, but like most fans, I usually just ignore it because it makes no sense. However, it is still irrefutably canon, so Tajidor is able to hurt Kamen Rider Core better than Double Extreme could, and guess who has the Tajidor Ranger Key? By this logic, Gokai Red as Tajidor would finally be stronger.
Is that so?
If not for the fact that Decade 21 has all their powers too. That's Ultimate Kuga, Double Extreme, and Putatira. Although I guess he doesn't have Tajidor visible anywhere on his body. The version that appears in the last episode is stronger than Putatira also, so assuming that's what Marvelous is turning into, then sure. I guess it's still possible that Tajidor could still be stronger. There you go, Sentai fans. Under this one extremely specific set of circumstances following this, let's just call it questionable logic, your character could still win. Another aspect of Decade 21 I want to talk about is how absurdly smart he must be. He's got 02's brain power and Double Extreme's Gaia library, so basically he's as smart as the world's greatest supercomputer with access to all the knowledge on Earth, including stuff that hasn't even happened yet. Oh yeah, and Build Genius also boosts his thought processing too. So he'd be so smart, he could literally see the future. I don't think Captain Marvelous has anything that could really compare to that. Not that I know of. This one actually ended up being much closer than I initially expected, though it's almost universally agreed upon by most fans that Decade wins. It was still fun looking into all the potential reasons why. I have a lot more future videos planned, so stay tuned.
Okay, that was a conclusion to this. Alright, first things first before I forget. I was right. Okay, I didn't expect that Gokai Red can be that high. I mean, or I guess that close to Kamen Rider Decade. I mean, okay, close is a relative term given how how insane differences in speed and power and whatever else you want to call it are. Oh my god. For those that understood everything that he said, bless you. For knowing everything that is going on in these particular franchises, this is insane. I mean, what can I say? Like, the whole speed that he covered, we actually have an unmeasurable speed, and we are basically walking into the negatives. For the power, I mean, you saw, like, the one that, I mean, we can destroy the worlds all we want, and others, oh no, can't go close to that. Oh, this had some funny moments by telling the, I guess, formulas and mathematics behind the answers. That was wow. Okay, for me personally, Suit is still, I mean, I did not watch any show, right? So the only thing that I can go off is, are the suits looking cool? I'm a very simple man at that, and in my eyes, Gokai Red wins when it comes to the suit, but when it comes to the power, I guess he is not really in the same league as Kamen Rider Decade, even though they both can use powers from others, which is even more insane. The Decade can use like all the brain power from others, being that smart that he can see the future. Yeah, at that point I would totally agree. I can totally see that. So yeah, that was it. Who would actually win? Let me know what you think in the comments below of this one. If you enjoyed it, give it a thumbs up. If you enjoyed my confusion, that is. But yeah, if you're new to the channel, subscribe, click that bell for notifications so you're informed of my next reactions, gameplays, reviews, and other things you guys put in the comments below for me to check out. And I will see you in the next one. Bye!